On August 20, 1989, the wealthy and privileged community of Beverly Hills was rocked by a gruesome double murder that would captivate the nation for years to come. Lyle and Erik Menéndez, two young brothers from an affluent family, shot and killed their parents, José and Kitty Menéndez, in cold blood. What followed was a trial that brought questions about family dynamics, abuse, wealth, and justice into the public spotlight. The Menéndez brothers case has become one of the most notorious family murder cases in American history, sparking debates about motive, manipulation, and the nature of justice. Background of the Menéndez family. José Menéndez was a self-made millionaire who had immigrated to the United States from Cuba as a teenager. Through determination and hard work, he had built a successful career, eventually becoming a prominent entertainment executive. His wife, Kitty Menéndez, came from a middle-class background, and together they raised their two sons, Lyle and Erik, in a life of privilege and wealth. The Menéndez family lived in Beverly Hills, California, and by all outward appearances, they seemed to enjoy the American dream. The brothers attended elite schools, and their father's wealth ensured they lacked for nothing material. However, beneath this facade of prosperity lay a family struggling with darker undercurrents, as would later be revealed in court. The night of the murders. On the night of August 20, 1989, Lyle and Erik Menéndez brutally murdered their parents. Armed with shotguns, the brothers entered their family's mansion and opened fire. José Menéndez was shot in the back of the head while sitting on the couch, and Kitty was shot multiple times as she tried to flee, with final shots fired into her face. The brutality of the killings shocked even seasoned investigators. In the immediate aftermath of the murders, Lyle and Erik called 911, frantically reporting the deaths. They initially claimed to have discovered their parents' bodies after returning home from a movie. To many, the brothers seemed like grieving sons, devastated by the loss of their parents. However, their behavior in the weeks following the murders raised suspicions. Suspicion and arrest. After the murders, the brothers began to spend lavishly, seemingly unaffected by their parents' deaths. Lyle bought a Porsche and a Rolex, while Erik hired a personal tennis coach and planned an extravagant trip. Their extravagant spending, coupled with inconsistencies in their story, began to attract the attention of law enforcement. Investigators started to question whether the brothers might have had a motive to kill their parents. As the investigation progressed, a key breakthrough came when Erik confessed to the murders during a session with his therapist, Dr. 𝐂𝐚𝐩𝐿. Unbeknownst to the brothers, Dr. 𝐂𝐚𝐩𝐿 had recorded these sessions, and the tapes became critical evidence in the case. Despite the brothers' attempts to intimidate Dr. 𝐂𝐚𝐩𝐿 into silence, the tapes were eventually turned over to the police. On March 8, 1990, Lyle and Erik Menéndez were arrested and charged with the murders of their parents. The case was about to take a turn that would dominate the media and courtroom for years. The trial, a case of abuse or greed. The trial of Lyle and Erik Menéndez began in 1993 and quickly became a media sensation. At the heart of the defense was the claim that the brothers had killed their parents out of fear for their lives. They alleged that they had suffered years of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse at the hands of their father, José Menéndez, and that their mother, Kitty, had turned a blind eye to the abuse. According to the defense, the murders were not premeditated, but rather the result of a lifetime of trauma and fear that culminated in a desperate act of self-defense. The brothers testified in detail about the alleged abuse, describing a household where their father was a tyrant and their mother was emotionally unstable and neglectful. Lyle claimed that his father had sexually abused him from the age of 6 and that the abuse continued for years. Erik made similar claims, stating that the abuse had left him emotionally scared and fearful of his father's violent outbursts. The prosecution, on the other hand, painted a very different picture. They argued that the brothers had killed their parents out of greed and a desire to inherit their vast fortune. The Menéndez estate was valued at millions of dollars, and the prosecution contended that the brothers wanted to enjoy their wealth without the control and dominance of their parents. They pointed to the brothers' extravagant spending after the murders as evidence of their true motives. The trial also raised questions about the credibility of the abuse allegations. There was no physical evidence to support the brothers' claims, and many witnesses, including family members and friends, testified that they had never seen any signs of abuse. The prosecution argued that the brothers had fabricated the abuse story to manipulate the jury and avoid conviction. The verdict and aftermath. The trial ended in two separate hung juries, with jurors deadlocked between those who believed the brothers' claims of abuse and those who saw the murders as a calculated plan to seize their parents' wealth. As a result, a second trial was held in 1995. This time, the judge ruled that the defense could not present evidence of sexual abuse, limiting the defense strategy. The second jury convicted both Lyle and Erik Menéndez of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. In 1996, they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The brothers have been serving their sentences ever since, housed in separate prisons for most of their incarceration until they were reunited in 2018. Media attention and public perception. The Menéndez case has remained the subject of fascination for the public and the media. It has inspired numerous documentaries, books, and television dramatizations. The case tapped into broader societal issues, including the complexities of family dynamics, wealth, and justice. Public opinion on the case has been divided. Some viewed the brothers as cold-blooded killers who murdered their parents for financial gain. Others sympathized with their claims of abuse, believing that the brothers acted out of desperation after years of torment. The case also sparked debates about the role of wealth in the justice system, with many arguing that the brothers' privileged background afforded them a more sympathetic hearing than other defendants might have received. Legacy of the Menéndez case. The Menéndez murders are a chilling reminder that beneath the surface of even the most outwardly successful families, there can be deep-seated dysfunction and hidden trauma. The case raised important questions about the nature of family relationships, abuse, and the boundaries of self-defense. For many, the story of Lyle and Erik Menéndez serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked privilege and the psychological toll of family secrets. Whether one believes the brothers were victims or villains, their case continues to capture the imagination of the public, offering a sobering glimpse into the dark side of the American dream. In the years since their conviction, Lyle and Erik Menéndez have both expressed remorse for their actions, though they maintain that the abuse they suffered played a significant role in their decision to kill their parents. Despite their life sentences, the Menéndez brothers remain a haunting example of how power, wealth, and trauma can collide in tragic and devastating ways. That's it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Please let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.